This shit for itself, start to finish, is funny when Dave chimes in, because Dave's the type of guy that could be funny as fuck by just having a simple convo with him. Because again, yeah, we've always said he's so smart, he's so well versed in culture and everything too. But at the end of the day, Dave Chappelle is a funny fucking guy with just regular convo. Jokes will think of on the fly and shit too. Everything's hilarious. And I'm talking about 2006. So from there, 15 years later till now, 2021, Jesus, the guy's a fucking comedic genius, if anything, too. And he really hasn't put out that much stuff, considering. I mean, surprisingly enough, considering, Chappelle's show, the whole thing about him allegedly going crazy because of season 3. They weren't letting him do what he wanted to with the show, even though they paid him like $50 million, something like that. They dubbed him to be allegedly crazy. He had to run off to Africa, fucking disappear for a good while and such. And they always dubbed him crazy, crazy, crazy. He's insane, whatever, this, that, the other. That's neither here nor there. I never bought into it. I just thought, you know what? It is sad to see that season 3 was like a fraction of what season 1 and 2 were lengthwise. And also, it just wasn't there because there is such a thing as being creatively frustrated when you got shackles. You got all these limitations placed on you, as I'm sure he had, and I'm sure as frustrated as he was because he couldn't do the show he wanted to, which made Chappelle's show so unique in itself because it was daring, it was bold, it was new, it was funny because it dared to be funny about things that people didn't really want to talk about like that. So many sketches to name. I mean, besides the more iconic, more memorable ones like the Rick James stories, the Prince stories, the race draft. There's so many too. The show itself is one of those rare things where it had any to no low points, any few to no fucking like duds or whatever. Unlike SNL, which has been around forever, for however long that's been, 70s, 80s and such, whatever, till now. And gradually, it's only gotten worse over time because I guess it's weird with SNL because that'll come more into the conversation later on with Coming to America because, what's her name? Leslie Jones. I forget if she's still on SNL right now. I know she was up until recently on the show, but maybe she just transitioned over to the fucking mainstream Hollywood and such movies, whatever. But yeah, the show right now, SNL in general, I think general consensus is it's like really, it's not even hit and miss. It's like just straight trash every fucking week. I mean, if the only good thing about the show is fucking the, weekly news update, weekend news update, whatever, that says a lot about the rest of the show because they got a whole week to fucking plan out, be elaborate, and fucking really give us comedy as they're, assigned to do. But nothing really sticks anymore. But okay, that's SNL besides that, and that's Chappelle's show besides that. This doc is basically about one day in Brooklyn. Dave Chappelle put together a slew of artists back in 2006. I was going to say, I keep saying that, whatever. 2006, put together fucking Kanye West, Mos Def, Common, Talib Kweli. Did I say that already? Let me start again. Kanye West, Talib Kweli, Mos Def, Common, Dead Prez, Lauryn Hill with the Fugees. It was supposed to be just Lauryn Hill, but with the Fugees, all of them, all three. Erykah Badu, Jill Scott, The Roots playing as the band, I believe, too. I don't know if they got to perform themselves, but okay, they were there. I know that Questlove and Black Thought were there. You see them throughout the fucking film, and I don't want to forget anybody else who might have been part of the lineup, but I think that was it for the most part. According to my notes, yeah, that was it. Okay. That's the whole focus of the film. It's about that one fucking concert they shot in fucking Brooklyn. That whole lineup of artists, as I mentioned, Dave Chappelle put it together. Fucking pulled the rabbit out of his hat to bring the Fugees together of all things and get Lauryn Hill to even come to something. I don't know if it was on time. I don't know how late she fucking made people wait because I remember Rock the Bells however many years ago. I went there with shout out to George. Both Georges, I know, both of them Greek. We went, and Lauryn Hill was up before, I think, Nas, I want to say, and Lauryn was like an hour late, made us wait. did one long ass version of doo-wop that thing, and I think that was it, and it really wasn't worth it, unfortunately, because I mean, that was way after the fact when they said allegedly she gone crazy too, so there's a bunch of that shit too, but she made us wait like fucking idiots out there. I think it started to rain at some point too, but it was just like, we waited this long for Lauryn Hill to be fucking doing like a 35-minute version of doo-wop that thing, unnecessary, with a band going crazy in the back and probably hands bleeding, fingers bleeding from having to overplay the same fucking rhythm section the whole time because Lauryn Hill wouldn't stop with the same fucking one song. But that's besides the point. That's Lauryn Hill. There's always been stories and stuff about her being like, I guess you can say annoying in person. I mean, as far as the show's concerned, because she'll just drag it out. She'll be super late, just do whatever she wants and like force a song to last that long. But that's okay. Again, Lauryn Hill aside, the movie itself really is kind of short, sweet, to the point. I love the fact that it's a long show. It could have just been one of those, like, I think they used to do it more back in the days, like bands and such. They'd have like their movie, which is just like a lot of swooping in and out fucking camera angles here and there out of different songs. It was more like those concert DVDs, like shit like that. It could have been just that, but no. Dave's enough of a genius to implement his own comedy, his humor, in between each set, performance, little, I wouldn't even say skits or whatever. It's just him like randomly talking some shit. It leads up to whoever's performing, talking to them before that, the artist, I mean, or just about, you know, how they were prepping the show itself. It's a really nice behind the scenes doc of the fucking show itself, the concert, how it came to be, this whole historic event, which I'm surprised he never did again afterwards, because this is kind of like the thing I would have been a fan of or hysterical about being able to see in person and witness, because getting that lineup together is no easy task if you're just a regular concert promoter. But if you're Dave Chappelle, you got the strength and the pull to put together, again, everybody, as I mentioned, a young Kanye West, still fresh, still fucking new himself, Talib Kweli and Mos Def, Common, Dead Prez, again, Lauryn Hill and the Fugees, better yet said the Fugees in its entirety, motherfucking Erykah Badu, Jill Scott, you know, the Roots is there playing as your fucking band too. So I'm surprised that he hasn't done that again ever since, or attempted to probably, or maybe, I don't know, because it might have coincided also with the time that, again, he was allegedly dubbed crazy, Dave Chappelle I'm referring to, so maybe he didn't really have the mindset to put that together again, which I think he would. He should be able to do that, and I wouldn't be surprised once things go back to normal, we see that every so often, every 5 years maybe even if he wants to do 10 years or something like that. Just 5 would be better. 5 sounds more sexy in this case. At least every 5 years, Dave Chappelle put together this other lineup that's going to blow your fucking mind and all that. You know, that'd be fun to see. But a couple of points about that movie, because there's really not much to talk about. It goes into performances by Kanye West. As I mentioned, everybody else. Talib and Mos Def, Common, Jill Scott, Erykah Badu, and all that shit. Dave, in between each fucking performance, is funny when he fucking interacts with the school that he stood at the fucking roof of to fucking watch the show from, and then he'd fucking run back down to the stage to say a joke or two, or do whatever, freestyle, whatever he's got to do, and all that shit too. There's really nothing much to say about it besides watch that shit. If you're a fan of that genre, hip-hop and R&B, you'll probably most likely love it. If you love Dave Chappelle, there's enough of him too throughout the fucking thing, which I liked as well, that you'll be able to laugh and be able to appreciate, you know, again, the banter, the conversations going on with random people in Ohio, random people in Brooklyn, as he was setting up shop, as he was putting the whole thing together behind the scenes and making sure everything gels together, works. And I mean, everybody wants to please Dave Chappelle at that point too, everybody who's there. So of course it all works. But a couple of points about the thing. So first off, what really made me happy about watching this again, and every time I do, is that you get to see a very young, still on the rise, building up his fame, Kanye West. Again, this is 2004 when it was done, 2006 when it was released. It's a young Kanye West when he used to do the Jordans, the jeans that weren't tight at all. They were just kind of like hemmed together because they don't fit properly, I don't think, on anybody, let alone Kanye's frame. And then the oversized blazer at that time, the suit blazer, like the actual top part of a suit, which he wouldn't wear with suit pants. He would just wear them with jeans, a polo sweater, and some Jordans underneath with the tongues out over the fucking jeans, and that'd be his whole look. At this fucking point, he's got one that's oversized, ill-fitting. I mean, he's got the couple of chains on too, and maybe that helps throw it off a little bit. But it's just endearing to remember that Kanye from way back when he was just getting his fame built up. And you know, College Dropout been out. People fell in love with that fucking album. I'd known about it already, so that's why especially I was mad that I didn't make it there, knowing that Kanye was fucking with Dave heavy like that, so I didn't make it to that show. So I was really upset that I didn't believe the person that told me about the show in advance to actually go and, you know, at least try my luck and see randomly a Saturday in Brooklyn. What do I got to lose? Okay, fucking nothing happened. All right, as long as I don't get shot out here, I'll make it back to Queens in one piece. But yeah, it's nice to see a young Kanye. He had a nice fucking intro with the drum line they got, the band they got from that school in Ohio. Bust him in from Ohio to come and do the drumline shit with the intro to Jesus Walks, to guide him through the fucking stage, did his thing. It's always fun watching Kanye live, because even young Kanye, even when he got into the Yeezus fucking era and whatever he's been doing now too, he's always hype, he's always animate, he's always passionate about the performance. And as we've seen over time, he's put the money and the budget behind the shows to make them an experience. I got to see him twice. I got to see him when Yeezus just released at whatever stadium that is in New Jersey. Got to see that live. It was an experience. I didn't pick up my phone once to record nothing. I just wanted to take it all in, let it all soak in, and just have fun vibing with the fucking show. Songs were fucking hitting so hard. The stage was so elaborate and beautiful. I didn't get the best seats, but I got free tickets. So shout out to the Daily News. They had a contest that morning. That same afternoon, I emailed them early enough where I won free tickets. They said, just go to Will Call. You're good. 2 tickets for you. Boom, I went. Had a great fucking time. Love that shit. There's that. A lot of Kanye. Also, it's weird, even though it is early Kanye, to see him in a group of people, like nestled in there in between. Not like standing up as everybody else is sitting down, as he usually tends to do nowadays too. Or as soon as he got on, it kind of seems like maybe not alluding so much to the asshole, like the fucking self-imposed genius that he walks around, you know, tooting his own horn about, but more like it's weird to see him just in a group of people, sitting down, laughing, having a good time, still being like a people person. Not so much like, again, he carries himself just like solo dolo, or everybody else is standing, he's sitting, or vice versa kind of thing. It was just good to see that old Kanye back in that time. It always is good to see him in just a pleasant sight to behold, better yet said. Also, a very pleasant sighting, which always makes me chuckle when I see this shit, and the times I watched it back, is seeing a very young J. Cole pop in and out as a part of the audience. Well, first off, because J. Cole is tall as fuck. He's like 6'5" or something like that, but he's extra thin. He don't have the dreadlocks. He don't have the facial hair, nothing. He's fucking clean shaven. He maybe got like a number 1 all around as far as the haircut's concerned. It's actually kind of off-putting, because I think we've gotten to know him when he got famous with at least some facial hair, a goatee, and like the hair a little bit grown out. No, this shit's just like fresh from the barber. He might have tried to do his fucking own beard, touch it up with a little blade at home. It's like, oh, just nicked himself, or like just took off an edge of the fucking right side of his beard and said, oh fuck, I gotta just get rid of this whole thing. And he's like baby face throughout the whole time. It's like kind of off-putting every time they show his big ass just like standing there bopping his head and chewing his gum real loudly. I'm assuming if you was next to him, you probably heard him in your fucking ear chewing so loudly. And on top of that, he's skinny. He's very thin, like rail thin almost. So you can see his fucking cheek muscles just like really going overtime, hard on the chewing of the gum. And also, so if you want to get a reference of where to see him, a young J. Cole, just to make sure I'm not lying, I wouldn't lie to you in that sense. And I know it was him. He admitted to it and alluded to it afterwards. It's specifically at 16 minutes and 28 seconds in, and then again at 17 minutes and 20 seconds pops up again. Oh yeah, and then again at 47 minutes, again, J. Cole in the audience just vibing out to fucking, I think they showed him during the Kanye performance, and I think it might have been, yeah, I think it was the Kanye performances all those times that he popped up. So yeah, there's that. A young ass J. Cole's fun to see. Let me see what else about this shit I could tell you. This alluded more to the fact that I do firmly believe and still stand behind the fact that Erykah Badu scares the fuck out of me as far as pussy's concerned, because oh shit, she's sexy, great ass on her, it's a fucking full display here, and even in them jeans that in 2014, like 2014 was not a good year for fucking fashion as far as like being a fan of hip hop or whatever kind of culture. I think no culture benefited from the look of jeans or the cut of jeans at that time. I forget if it was like boot cuts or what was going on at that time, but like the look. Or I think True Religion might have been the ones like taking over the world around that time. But the jeans don't look good, and they did nobody justice. Like I mentioned earlier with Kanye too, with his oversized blazer. Same thing with Erykah here. Nice fucking juicy ass on her that she's got. She's always been known to have, but like the jeans shouldn't display it, but I guess she bought like a size smaller to really emphasize the peach. So that's good. But also adds to the fact that this woman's alluring. This woman's magnifying, besides the fact that she's very talented too. But it also makes you wonder, oh shit, what's brewing up in Badu to make her be fucking locking down who is DOC, Andre 3000. You kind of get the vibes from her in this performance. And I seen her too as well perform in person. I got that immediate magnetism too from her as well. It might have been the pussy allure or whatever fucking thing she did with a pussy fragrance and not. It's there somehow. Something's dissipating out of her that's fucking like creating vibes that kind of bring you in like she was a real life Poison Ivy, like that villain from Batman of some sorts. But yeah, there's that. Erykah Badu is always very alluring and tempting as she always been. And speaking of, there's Jill Scott, which I wish I could draw heart-eyed emojis on me right now to emphasize how much of a fan I've been of Jill fucking Scott. Excuse me, Miss Jill Scott. Oh boy. Bigger, smaller, in between, whatever. All I want to do is get in between whatever she's got going on there. That fine-ass fucking beautiful woman of hers. I could do a whole episode just fucking talking her up and down and what I'd like to do with her within legal ramifications, I believe, without anybody, flagging this shit and being like, Jill Scott, be on the lookout for this fucking guy. But I mean it in the most sincerest way. Jill Scott, oh boy, my God. What is she working with besides everything? Face, body, just enchanting how sweet she is, how just like fucking much of a woman she is. Jesus. God, Jill Scott. So in love with her still. And then also the fact that Lauryn Hill was supposed to be the one to perform and close out the show, I believe the headliner. But as Dave said in the movie, Columbia Records wouldn't clear the rights to any of her songs, so the loop around to that was actually just fuck it. Let's get the whole Fugees, Praz and Wyclef involved, have them perform, do their things, because who doesn't want to fucking see the Fugees live? Killing Me Softly, Fuji La La, everything they fucking done, all the hits, that classic album, The Score too, why the fuck not? They did that. And of course, it makes sense for the fucking movie. Who doesn't want to see Lauryn Hill do Killing Me Softly, which she did beautifully in the film. Again, I wasn't there in person, so I don't know how long they made the crowd wait for her to fucking muster up the courage to finally do it and get it over with. And I don't know how long the actual version she did in that concert was, but it was great. At least for the sake of a film and a movie, timed just right, perfectly, loved it, enjoyed it. I wish I would have been there in person, except if Lauryn Hill made you wait like an hour plus to even hit the fucking stage. But then again, you had Dave Chappelle killing time in the meanwhile, so that wouldn't have been bad either way, or that hour would have just like flew by, snapping my fingers. All right, but listen, the fact that Dave Chappelle's Block Party was a pretty fun time, caught on film in Brooklyn of all places back in 2014 with that whole lineup of fucking artists to enjoy yourselves thoroughly. Listen, it's cool enough to be deemed a movie, which it is what it is. So that's what they get across here too. You're capturing the experience of Dave putting together the whole show, as far as literally putting together an audience of random white people, whoever he can gather from fucking Ohio that he just feels like might have a good time coming to New York via charter bus to fucking see a show go live in Brooklyn with this fucking epic lineup of artists. The only downside to it might be if you're not a fan of that genre, it might not be up your alley as per se your taste in music. But there is enough Dave in between every fucking performance where you get a good laugh, a chuckle, and you appreciate the fact that, yes, there is the fact that he could fucking come up with a whole set, a whole routine of jokes with the stand-up he's done with fucking Netflix, or the classic, you know, killing them softly that he did back in 2000 and such. Okay, there's no doubt he can put all that shit together and make you laugh that way. But the fact that this man, with the banter, the conversation he has with random people he just fucking meets, okay, yes, these people know who he is when he fucking approaches them. They know he's a comedian and they happen to love him as a comedian. So I guess it's kind of like a little bit of a cheat code, but either way, if you could be funny in just regular convo like he was with these people, with just regular fucking banter or on-the-spot jokes and whatnot too, that's a funny motherfucker. So, of course, that certifies the fact that Dave Chappelle is already in the Comedy Hall of Fame. But as far as being the GOAT, or at least top 5 of comedy, I think he's easily earned his slot there from a long time ago. This just shows further proof of that itself.
Yo, it's over. All right, it's over. It's over. Move the mic. Move the mic.
Thank you.
All right.